The multiverse quaked, torn asunder by a surge of cosmic energy. In the barren wastelands of a conquered world, Thanos, the Mad Titan, stood triumphant, with the Infinity Gauntlet gleaming on his hand. Its 6 stones pulsing with unimaginable power, he surveyed his creation, a reality bent to his will. He had finally achieved what he believed to be balance, a perfect order forged in the fires of sacrifice. But his triumph was fleeting. A crackling portal of pure energy ripped through the fabric of space, disgorging a figure unlike any Thanos had ever encountered. Darkseid, the Lord of Apokolips, emerged, his form radiating a power that seemed to dwarf the cosmos themselves. His crimson eyes burned with the promise of annihilation as his hands rested calmly behind his back. Thanos straightened, his voice a deep rumble that carried across the desolation. "You trespass in my domain. State your purpose before I obliterate you." Darkseid's expression was one of serene contempt. "Your dominion is insignificant compared to my quest. The gauntlet you wield is but a distraction. Surrender it, and I may yet allow you to exist as a shadow of your former self." Thanos' lips curled into a sneer. "Arrogant fool. Do you truly believe you can challenge a god armed with the fabric of existence itself?" Darkseid's only response was a slow, deliberate step forward. His mere presence warped the environment. The ground trembled, and the skies darkened as if cowering before his might. The first clash was instantaneous and apocalyptic. Thanos raised the gauntlet, channeling the Power Stone into a devastating blast. The energy surged toward Darkseid, obliterating everything in its path. But as the smoke cleared, the ruler of Apokolips remained unscathed. With a flick of his hand, Darkseid retaliated, unleashing his Omega beams. The jagged red energy tore through space itself, forcing Thanos to summon the Space Stone's power to evade the deadly assault. The battlefield rapidly expanded as the combatants exchanged blows that defied comprehension. Darkseid's strength and intellect made him an opponent unlike any Thanos had faced before. The Mad Titan's every attack, every calculated move, was met with overwhelming force and unerring precision. It was a battle not of simple power, but of wills, each combatant seeking to impose their dominance on the other. The conflict between Thanos and Darkseid spilled across dimensions, tearing through the boundaries of the multiverse. Every clash of their powers sent shockwaves rippling through countless realities. Entire worlds were consumed as collateral damage, their inhabitants reduced to mere whispers in the void. Thanos, ever the strategist, realized he needed to shift the battlefield. Utilizing the Space Stone, he teleported Darkseid to a desolate, fiery world on the edge of existence. The landscape was a chaotic wasteland of lava flows and jagged obsidian spires. Here, he believed, he could dictate the terms of their engagement. As Darkseid emerged unscathed from the teleportation, Thanos raised the Reality Stone. With a twist of his fingers, the environment twisted and writhed, transforming into a labyrinth of shifting magma walls and molten pits. "You may be strong," Thanos said, his voice echoing ominously, "but strength alone cannot overcome the power of creation itself." Darkseid remained unfazed. "Strength is but a fragment of power. True power lies in purpose, a lesson you have yet to learn." The maze was no hindrance to Darkseid. With each step, his Omega beams carved through Thanos' reality-bending constructs, reducing them to ashes. His legions of parademons materialized from portals, swarming toward Thanos in unrelenting waves. The Mad Titan fought back with ferocity, wielding the Power Stone to obliterate the horde with explosive force. Yet for every Parademon destroyed, 10 more took its place. The two titans clashed again, their strikes shaking the planet to its core. Thanos summoned the combined might of the Power and Space Stones, creating a cataclysmic vortex of energy that engulfed Darkseid. For a moment, it seemed as though the Lord of Apokolips had been defeated. But as the smoke cleared, Darkseid stood tall, his armor cracked but his resolve unbroken. "You delay the inevitable," Darkseid intoned, his voice carrying an almost godlike authority. This gauntlet of yours is but a tool. You wield it without understanding the cost of true dominion. Thanos, seething with frustration, raised the gauntlet again. Then I will show you the price of defiance. The battle escalated to an unprecedented scale as Thanos and Darkseid tore through the barriers between realities. The nexus of all realities became their new battlefield, a realm where the multiverse's threads converged. Here, their conflict threatened not just a single universe, but the very fabric of existence. Darkseid, sensing the gauntlet's limitations, unleashed a fragment of the anti-life equation. The energy swept through the nexus like a storm, enveloping Thanos in its oppressive grip. For the first time, the Mad Titan faltered. A wave of despair and hopelessness washed over him, a stark contrast to his usual unyielding confidence. "You seek to bring balance," Darkseid said, his voice resonating with the power of the anti-life. "But balance is an illusion. Only my will can bring order to the chaos of existence." Thanos, gritting his teeth, activated the Mind Stone, shielding himself from the equation's effects. With a roar, he counterattacked, wielding the Reality Stone to warp the Nexus into a prison of infinite dimensions. Each dimension was a labyrinth designed to trap and confound Darkseid, isolating him from the gauntlet. But Darkseid's will was absolute. The Omega beams tore through the dimensional barriers with ease, each strike bringing him closer to his adversary. When he emerged, his eyes burned brighter than ever. "You cannot imprison inevitability," Darkseid declared. "Your defiance only delays the truth." All things serve Darkseid. In the heart of the Nexus, Thanos prepared his final gambit. The Time Stone pulsed with energy as he rewound his injuries and gathered his strength, summoning the combined might of all 6 stones. He unleashed a singularity of cosmic energy aimed directly at Darkseid. The explosion was blinding, a cataclysmic event that obliterated entire timelines. When the light faded, Thanos stood amidst the devastation, breathing heavily. He believed he had won, but from the void, Darkseid emerged, his armor shattered yet his resolve unbroken. "You fought well, Titan," Darkseid said, his voice calm and almost reverent. "But you lack the conviction to wield true power." Before Thanos could respond, the Omega beam struck the gauntlet. The Infinity Stones cracked, their energies dissipating into the void. The gauntlet fell from Thanos' hand, rendered useless. Darkseid loomed over his fallen foe. "You sought to impose your will upon the universe," he said, his tone devoid of mockery. "But I am the end of all wills." With a final blast of Omega energy, Darkseid consigned Thanos to the void, erasing him from existence. The Lord of Apokolips stood triumphant, his gaze turning toward the endless possibilities of conquest that lay ahead. For the anti-life equation still beckoned, and his reign was far from over.